Tools for Success, brought to you by Commonwealth Credit Union's I Decide program. Today's success tool, Computer Buying 101.
It's graduation season, and one of the most popular gifts for graduates is a new computer as they head off to college. And we hope with this video to be able to give you some information that you need to help you make some informed decisions when shopping for a computer for your graduate. My name is Doug Graham, and I'm the Information Systems Manager at Commonwealth Credit Union, and I hope to give you a few points that will help you with that decision. The first decision you have to make is between a laptop or a desktop unit, and they both have advantages. The laptop, you are purchasing portability, so with the desktop you get a little bit more power, a little bit more expandability for the same amount of money. But the best advantage for the student is a lot of times now they have portable classrooms, or they go to the library. The laptop allows them that portability to carry that with them and help them with their studies. Also, when they come home for the weekend, it allows them to bring what they've been working on with them so that they can study while they're at home with you. So the portable laptop is usually a better choice for a graduate to let them adjust to the new college life. Once you've made the decision between a desktop or a laptop, the next decision is about the processor, which sometimes gets confusing. The battle between AMD and Intel is just a manufacturer's difference and really doesn't matter. As long as it's at a dual core level speed, it doesn't matter which one you go with. I would just let price be your guide and choose between them based on that. But the biggest difference that you have to watch for is a chip called a Celeron, which omits the coprocessor from the chip and greatly reduces the performance. If your student's only going to be doing papers, small spreadsheets, lightweight stuff, just basically business applications, the Celeron is fine. But if your student's going to be doing something like graphics art, intense spreadsheets, mathematics, you are going to want to avoid the Celeron. As a matter of fact, a lot of those software packages will not run on a machine if it detects a Celeron chip. So the dual core or the quad core may be a little bit of overkill, but at that level is the chip that you want. The next question is the operating system, which one to choose. Microsoft went through a series of trying to change a difficulty that they've had from even back in the DOS days, which is that their machines can only see a maximum of 2 gigabytes of memory. With Windows XP, that was the last series of software that was held to that 2 gigabyte ceiling. Microsoft tried with Vista and some other names that preceded that to break that 2 gigabyte barrier, and with Vista they got close, but there were still just some glitches in there that weren't quite right. So they, rather than trying to continue to enhance that operating system, they came back with a new one called Windows 7, and at that point they finally got it right. So I wouldn't deal with Vista at all because it is an abandoned operating system. It is almost the trial part of Windows 7. So what you want to look for is Windows XP or Windows 7. Keep in mind, if you buy XP, you do have the 2 gigabyte maximum of memory, which does come into play with more complex applications. Also, Microsoft will discontinue updates to Windows XP very soon. So the Windows 7 is the better option. If you get a good deal on a PC that has XP on it, and you think that, well, you'll upgrade it to 7 later, be careful in that decision, because if you try that and the manufacturer did not develop hardware drivers for Windows 7, when you make that upgrade, it will not allow you to make the upgrade. You'll have hardware issues that'll come up when you try to make the change. Also, when you go from XP to Windows 7, you have to format the machine in order to load the new operating system. So you have to be prepared to erase all of your data and recover it at the time of the update. The next question is memory. How much memory should you put in a PC? If you have Windows XP, the minimum memory is 128 megs. But I can tell you, if you have 128 megs, you're not going to be very happy with it. You're going to need somewhere around 1.5 to 2 gigabytes in order for it to perform at an acceptable level. Windows 7 has an infinite maximum memory, but the base memory that is required is no less than 1 gigabyte. But at 1 gigabyte, the performance is greatly reduced. You're probably going to look for a system that has 2 to 3 gigs to get the performance that you're looking for. Video memory is the other question that people have, and usually whatever ships with the machine on video memory is sufficient. The only time you need to change the video memory or look for another model is if your student's going to be a graphics artist, something with photography, something that requires a lot of graphics. In that case, you may want more video memory than the standard, But keep in mind that changing that sometimes requires you to switch to another model and have to buy a different PC. It can't be upgraded always, especially with a laptop. If you purchase your PC from a retailer, they may offer you an option to remove the unneeded software from the PC. A lot of these PCs come with preloaded software for you to test. They're usually on a 60-day trial. They'll tell you that if you want to have them remove that software for you, if you know you're not going to use it, they'll be happy to do that for a fee of around $50 to $100. I wouldn't pay that fee because it's very simple to do by going to the control panel, go to add and remove programs, pick the programs you don't want, and say remove and save yourself $50. The PCs will ship with a trial version of antivirus that runs from anywhere from 90 to 365 days. Be sure to activate the antivirus, and once you get a notice that it's expiring, be sure to go and renew it. It's very important that the antivirus stay active on the PC at all times, but there's some added protection that you'll need to be aware of as well. Malware is a totally different type of attack and is defended by a totally different package. If your new PC does not have malware protection, you'll want to load that on there. The one I like the best is a program called Malwarebytes. There is a free version of it, but I'd recommend you buy the $25 version because it runs on the PC all the time and keeps you protected. It's well worth the $25 for the 1 year of protection. One of the biggest questions I'm asked is it worth it to buy the extended maintenance? And it's a decision you have to make on your own. On the desktop, probably not. But if you buy a laptop and it's going to be in the hands of a student, I would buy the protection. It just extends the life of the PC and makes it a lot easier to get it fixed if something occurs. But you might want to ask when you buy it, what is the manufacturer's policy on making the repair? Some of them have repair sites that are local you can take the machine to and have it repaired. Others require you to ship it off, and they do not guarantee the data on the drive during the repair. So those are the kinds of things you want to ask for up front before you make a purchasing decision. The biggest thing that affects students with a laptop is throwing it on the bed. If they lay it on the bed while the machine is still running, it'll sink into the mattress and the covers, covering the exhaust vents on the side, causing it to overheat and damage the components inside. Also, if you leave it plugged in and pitch it on the bed, it will break the pin that the AC adapter plugs into. If once that's broken, the motherboard has to be replaced, and it's a huge ordeal. So leaving a running laptop on the bed is always a bad combination. The battery life of a laptop is extended by using it. If you use your laptop plugged into the wall all of the time and never use it on battery power, the battery will begin to weaken and its life will grow shorter, and to the point when you try to use it, it only has 5 to 10 minutes of power. So be sure you use a laptop on the battery power. What software to get depends on what type of major your student's going to be involved in, but one thing they'll probably always have to have is Microsoft Office. It comes on most PCs with a 60-day trial, but you will have to renew it in order to continue to use it past 2 months. There is a student version of Microsoft Office that can be purchased at a greatly reduced price. Ask the retailer to provide you with the student version of Microsoft Office. The current release is 2007. There is a version of Office that's rated 2010, but it's still in beta. For me, beta means wine before its time, and it's still in testing. I wouldn't send a student to college with an untested version of software. I would stick with Microsoft Office 2007. If your student's going to be away from home at college but might need some technical support from you, a good free package to load on their new PC is TeamViewer 5. You can download it off of the internet for free, load it on your PC and on theirs. If they need your help, you can remotely connect to their PC and see their screen on yours and make changes to their equipment for them. Students, don't worry. The parents cannot connect to the PC until you first grant them permission. Be sure you back up the data on the PC regardless of if it's a laptop or a desktop, and one of the simplest ways to do that is to buy a small USB drive, something that's powered off of the USB cable. Western Digital makes a great one. It's about the size of a calculator. You can plug that in, and it even has software preloaded where you can set up a relationship between that drive and the PC and tell it, these folders, whenever I plug in this drive, I want these folders to be backed up. But one thing to remember is don't leave the drive hooked up to the PC all the time, because if a virus should ever come in on that PC causing damage, it would infect the backup copy as well. So once you've made the backup, disconnect the drive and then put it back in later and back up again. Ask your university or college what type of internet access they provide. Some of it's wired, some of it's wireless. You need to know the difference between secured and unsecured wireless networks. For more information on that, ask your university if their wireless connections are secured or unsecured. If you are on an unsecured wireless network, be aware that others can see your traffic. So studying or doing research is fine, but logging onto your email or doing a home banking transaction could be dangerous. We hope this information is helpful to you and helps you make a wise decision. Congratulations to your graduate.